You've talked about these vaccine injured, David, and you've talked about 2028 and a third of the world. That's a huge number. And we see so many anecdotal cases out there of these sudden deaths and these blood clots and these sudden cancers and accelerated cancers. Can you tell me what's actually happening out there? And does the public have any idea what's going on?
Well, I think, like you said it earlier, there's the beginning of the awakening that people are starting to realize that something was grossly misrepresented. I mean, just a couple of days ago, we saw that both at the United Airlines case and then more recently, another individual employee who has prevailed in their suit against their employer for actually mandating without accommodating, in these cases, religious exemptions or health exemptions in some of the cases. But yes, Brian, it's important for us to get really on why I say a third of the population will be disabled or at least in some way incapacitated by 2028. And I need to correct that. I think it's happening faster than 2028. I think I was giving myself a long way than is appropriate. But let's unpack what I mean by that. Every person that got an mRNA injection, so that's Pfizer and Moderna, every person that got that injection is no longer capable of actually living in a what we call qualified human healthy existence. And the reason I say that is very simple. For 10 years, from 2000 to 2010, the company Moderna was the actual National Science Foundation project called Darwinian Chemical Systems, funded by the National Science Foundation. And that project specifically aimed to find ways to use mRNA to actually transcribe into the DNA of humans and other organisms. And the reason why Moderna was actually founded in 2010 was because they figured out how to do it. So let's get really clear. When you hear Moderna say, well, we don't think it actually does anything long term, that's a patent lie. And when I say it's a patent lie because if you read their first patent in 2010, when they formed the company, it actually shows that, in fact, what I just said is absolutely before they, in fact, did figure out ways to use mRNA to write into the human genome. And what we also know is that in the shots that were used for both the Pfizer shot as well as the Moderna shot, in both of them, the agent pseudouridine was used, as well as the unfortunate use of a number of fats, basically fat envelopes that were used to actually deliver the agent into the body. And these lipid particles, which are actually part of the delivery system, were actually known to be toxic agents when they were created. So this was not something that is an after effect discovery. This was known to be a toxin. More importantly, if you actually set aside the lipid nanoparticle for a moment and you go back to the pseudouridine as part of the injection to stabilize the mRNA so that it actually would find its way into the cell and do its work, what you find before the pseudouridine case is that it is an active cancer promoter. It does it by doing two things. It actually switches on some cancer behavior, but it also shuts down the body's natural response to fight cancer. And all of us, every single one of us, has atypical cell growth happening at some point somewhere. When that goes out of control, we call it cancer. And when we let it go further out of control, we call it metastatic cancer. And what you're finding, Brian, is what's called stage 4 cancer on diagnosis. Now, stage 4 and cancer on diagnosis shouldn't be said in the same sentence, because it turns out that stage 4 talks about the maturity of that cancer. That's an indication of how aggressive or how long or how comprehensive that cell line has been established. When you find cancer at stage 4, what it means is there's an accelerant. Something is going on where something is not only triggering the hypertrophic growth, but the other side of it is the suppressors, which are natural in our body, the things that actually bring down cancer as a response, are being themselves suppressed. So what we're left with is a pro-cancer trigger, and then we shut down the anti-cancer response that's normal in the body. And to that end, what I've said, when I talk about a third of the world's population being incapacitated is that between the people who actually have diagnosed disease, you have to realize that for every one of those people, Brian, at least 2 other people have to be impacted in their care. So even if, let's just take this, the best case scenario where we only have 10% that actually have active cancers and active disease conditions, which is only 800 million people. But let that number settle in for a minute. 800 million people. If only 10% have the most pathogenic response, we still have 2 times that number, another 1.6 billion people who are going to be required for their care. Now, you know, and I know, because we're of the age to know, that when you start dealing with an aging parent or you start dealing with a disabled spouse, the overall productivity you have in your life goes because you stop being productive. As a matter of fact, you become more productive. You have to do your job and take care of somebody. But over a period of time, what we're going to see is the incapacitation of society as an employable and engageable unit. And that means that a third of the population, either directly through their own harm or as the casualty of caretaking, will in fact be incapacitated by 2020.
Wow. That's a massive statement. And that's going to have a massive impact on the economy, on everything.
Absolutely. And this is the reason why, once again, I say, when I talk about an act of warfare, remember, the Greeks used to do this. The Romans used to do it. We've done it here in the United States. Remember that warfare comes in a bunch of different forms. And because we still see people going on playing holidays and doing all the things, we actually go, nah, it's not a world war. But that's because we're thinking about the old school black and white newsreel war. We're thinking about trenches and guns, and we're thinking about helmets, and we're thinking about fatigues, and we're thinking about what Hollywood delivers to us as warfare. But what we're not paying attention to, and this is really critical, is the number of people who are not engaging in the economy. Watch what's happening. And by the way, every country that bought the COVID nonsense is having exactly the same response. The number of employable people under the age of 40 is going down. And it's staggering. And you look at it and go, well, hold on a minute. That's a problem. Because for economies to last and for society to last, we need to have the period of time between our late teens and our early 50s. We need that period of time to be filled with constructive and productive engagement. And that is not happening. In fact, the numbers are going the wrong way. So we see all of the indications that we would have seen in any other condition. The same number of people dead and dying, the same number of casualties in terms of morbidity and mortality. We see the same thing as any other war, but because it was done with lab coats, we don't think it's war.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, do you want to profit from crypto? Then join my DeFi Academy. The Crypto DeFi Academy will help you create generational wealth. But don't take my word for it. Listen to my students.
When I first got into crypto, I remember thinking to myself, I need to learn more. Brian Rose, learning crypto, learning DeFi, got to do it.
I am so grateful that I jumped in and did this. I had to break through some limiting beliefs that I can do this, that I can afford this, that I can be in this.
It challenges the things that are deeply rooted within us.
Joining DeFi Academy has been one of the best decisions I have made on my blockchain journey.
This course was a life changer, a game changer, a huge eye-opener, coming from knowing practically nothing at the speed of the learning over 4 weeks was just fantastic.
The information you provided in this class was invaluable.
I feel far more confident in my next steps.
You took complex concepts and made them easier to understand.
What's different than so many other ones is it just doesn't tell you what to do. It actually makes you do it.
This is for people who are serious about becoming traders. This is the way it should be done.
I realized from this learning experience again that it is not about what you learn, but about who you learn it from.
The energy was insane. I've never experienced such incredible energy on a live call. Brian Rose, you are a legend, my friend.
It's the only thing in the market where you can get all information and learn everything what you need to know.
Everything is so clear and so well done, and I am just forever grateful for this program.
It made me feel so much more confident about crypto than I did before.
I did not anticipate how passionate I was going to become about it.
This course has been like a big learning experience for me, not just in the crypto space, but just an overall balance of life.
What I've learned is, how to take ownership, of my life in a way that I really hadn't before.
Yeah, you can't put a price on that, really.
I would recommend it to anybody, top notch.
Excellence does not come cheap. So if you want excellence, you gotta pay for it, but it's so worth it.
Pull the trigger. That's what this course is about.
You're not going to regret it, really. It's amazing.
Thank you, Brian and team.
So what are you waiting for? Crypto is happening now. Click the link below, submit your application, and let me mentor you on how to create generational wealth and build the decentralized financial infrastructure of the future. Hi, it's Brian Rose from London Real. You probably know that we've just recently been re-platformed on YouTube after 25 months completely in the dark. The truth is, I really need your help. What I really need you to do is click on that subscribe button right now, like this video, and maybe even leave a comment or share the link with friends. We're really fighting against an algorithm that's tried to keep us quiet for so long. And the more subscribers we have, the more people watch our content, the better guests we can bring you, the better content, and we can continue transforming lives. We've been doing this for 14 years now. I want to do this for another 14 years, but I really need your help. So click on that subscribe button, like the video, leave a comment, share this, and we're going to continue to bring you more and more great content. Thank you. Most people will never see this opportunity. Dubai luxury transformation projects have historically delivered 40 to 90% annual returns. That is incredible. These were once reserved only for insiders with access. I spent 15 years on Wall Street and I learned this. The biggest returns always go to the people who get the call first. Now, you finally can. We've just received a brand new project with major upside potential. Allocations move fast. Click the link, apply now, and speak to my team. This is your chance to see what others never will.